3, 2, 1. Dad, are you there? Yeah, you're gonna have to clean out the basement. Yeah, I sold at the bottom. I've lost everything. What? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not my father anymore? Hey team, how are we? Hopefully you haven't been shook out of your bags. You're still holding strong and still with us in this crypto market. I know last night was a very tough time, wouldn't you say, Bender?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that if you're still in your own place and not moving into your parents' basement, you're probably doing just fine.
I dare say that there were some weak hands last night. Obviously, the sell-off couldn't have all been the F2 pool, the miners. Yeah, some people would have freaked out, particularly those who are new to these volatile sort of movements. Those that do have the diamond hands will be rewarded when prices start going back up, and the weaker hands with their smaller bags will then FOMO back in and pumping your bags further. And this is why a lot of people do say, hodl's the only strategy. And it does. Obviously you want to pick the right time to hodl as well, but that's why, yeah, it's unfortunate, and hopefully we can educate, especially our Adapt crypto crew,
Yep,
to know when to
never give
buy,
up.
when to sell. Bitcoin only goes up, never down. um, but yeah, Luca, let's have a bit of an update on the market. So for a bit of a mixed day, it's still things are, a lot of people are still shook right now. But going by some of the research that I did, it looks like nothing fundamentally was wrong essentially with the market. What we were seeing last night, there was a large sell-off from the F2 pool, the miners, who were taking profits. And I'm starting to see a bit of a pattern, uh, as to when it usually is around. They prepare for March, they prepare for September. So you're looking at that February, August. And I'm going to try and keep note of these dates so I know for future investment periods that I'll be involved with. But the other thing was, they also do this because they will maximize their gains. They will do it by shorting the market. Um, they will do it by shorting the market first, and the reason why they sell such a big bag all at once, which is unfortunate and manipulative, but I also will receive more Bitcoin because they've shorted it, and then they've dumped $3 billion worth of Bitcoin on the market. So that's the strategy that I sort of go with, because that's the only reason why you just press the dump button. Other than that, unless they're complete apes, um, they must have people. Exactly right. Well
And
said.
a lot of these people are apes. So you never know. It's a risk that you take.
Mm. But I think one of the learning points for me was focusing on the data. I did. If you look in the Discord and the news channel, I remember looking at the crypto quant. There was a huge spike on Bitcoin going to the exchanges, and I didn't really sit down and really analyze it. I sort of go, oh well, this could potentially be a bit of a dump here, and to be honest, I just didn't expect it to be so quick, so brutal. And I underestimated, essentially. I thought things would be nice and slow. They'd be, as Bitcoin sort of peters down a little bit, we'd see what we did last month, where with Bitcoin would go down, alts would just slingshot up. Instead, it was like, nope, dump, and everything else would be magnified. So, big lesson for me, big lesson for us. My point is that I encourage you guys to sort of focus on that raw data and try and analyze it. Don't always be reliant on other people telling you when to buy and sell. As much as we'd love the professionals to go, hey man, you need to sell your bags just in time for a dump. It's just not going to happen. So try to get more familiar with the data. I'll do my best to sort of process and analyze that data and share my insights. I have saved just from a dump before. Hopefully, I could. I just wish I saved just from this big brutal dump. But we'll grow. We'll get better at this sort of stuff. And so, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. The apes will reemerge from the forest, and they will pump their little bags again. The other issue as well, like there was an accumulation of FUD as well. There was FUD from the tether thing. Although we knew previously it was all sorted. Tether was or Bitfinex was demonstrating they had all the funds there, but it was finalized yesterday. There was one other issue as well. Oh yeah, MicroStrategy FUD. That was obviously a lie. Then we had things in the media as well about Tesla and Elon Musk. Apparently, the reason why he lost $30 billion was because of Bitcoin. And there was a lot of, FUD that was just a big big poo storm of FUD. Excuse my language. And, I think people just freaked out. Also, you have the smart money, timing, their things. And with that being said, let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin dominance. Look, there's not much of a change here. Very wiki, sort of showing that it's been a volatile sort of market. We all laugh about this, but so far I've been 100% accurate with my trajectory here. We have our rocket sort of just sort of going, avoiding Mars at this stage. We sort of kissed it right there. You can see that there, and then we're sort of just, we'll go around it and sort of head our way to Saturn there. But I'll show you some of the reasons why we know that the FUD was unwarranted. We have Square buying another $170 million worth of Bitcoin. Unfortunately for them, they bought it top dollar. But not quite top dollar, but at a over-the-counter price of 51,000. They didn't quite buy the dip. They did get a bit of a discount there, though, which is good for them. And we all know that Michael Saylor right now is buying more Bitcoin. He is incredibly bullish. I went all over his Twitter after all the circulating FUD, and I wanted to make sure that it was definitely FUD. Michael Saylor is a bit of a hero, a bit of a leader in the space.
He's a Chad. He's a Bitcoin Chad. Don't forget it, guys.
Right. He is an absolute legend. A lot of us in the crypto space absolutely love him. And here he is. He's on the media telling him that every other company is being irresponsible for not buying this. Imagine being told as a CEO responsible for his company and their success, and all of a sudden they're being told they're not being responsible by not buying Bitcoin. It takes a good set to really a big set of to be able to say this sort of thing to people who are confident in what they do. The other thing is, I love this was, what was it? Sorry, it was 100 million. He reckons that Bitcoin is going to rise to $100 trillion market cap. What a legend for just, and you just notice, like, everyone will say, they'll keep saying these levels, and every time that people will keep trying to chase those levels. So this is good. You have a prominent figure within not just crypto space, but the investment space, telling people this Bitcoin has another 100x to go. It's never too late. So, really, really good. What do you guys think?
I definitely agree. I mean, Michael Saylor, definitely a crypto hero in pretty much everyone's book, especially considering how I would say the most recent, well, I guess not the most recent, but the beginning of the mainstream bullish sentiment kind of originated from Michael Saylor and announcing to the public, to the traditional legacy financial world, that they were beginning to convert their assets, their hard US dollars, into Bitcoin, and for various reasons. But of course, I mean, the dollar has not been performing well, and he definitely started this movement. And I mean, it's just going right away. when we saw that post of the supposed MicroStrategy holdings being moved from cold storage onto Coinbase, I mean, I didn't believe it for a second. I mean, Michael Saylor, personal hero, and he's stated very publicly his intention to hold Bitcoin for, for the long term. I mean, if you have that many Bitcoin and you are so strongly convinced that it's only going to increase in value, why would you ever sell? I mean, that can only hurt the price in the short term, in the long term, potentially. So yeah, I mean, it's crazy that that happened, and I don't think that it's going to happen anytime in the next 5 to 10 years.
Good, good. And here's a little bit of bullish news. Like it just sort of shows more main adoption. You have a few Asian countries here coming together and deciding that they're all going to make a CBDC together. I'm yet to sort of see what this will look like. They're going to have a multiple central bank digital currency bridge. Sorry. So that's the bullish news. They're all going to have their separate digital currency, but they're going to make sure that it is easily exchangeable amongst each other. And these have been teamed up through Thailand, United United Arab Emirates. You have the Bank of China, and I thought there was another one in there. I'm not seeing it, but anyway, it's really good. Pete, it's good to see countries going, all right, guys, yeah, you're going to do a CBDC. Yeah, I'm going to do a CBDC. You're going to do one. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's just make sure we could, exchange this easily. Make sure that these currencies have the utility and the ease of use that they're designed to have, rather than you see these countries, they'll scale out of the people. They're like, yeah, our currency is the best currency, et cetera, et cetera. We have countries come together to work together, which is unusual for I would have thought for China, and just going by the general market and sentiment of what they sort of do. But Thailand, it's really good to sort of see with them. I know they're very keen. United Arab of Emirates, Dubai as well. They've always been bullish on cryptocurrency. They're one of the first movers within the space as a country. So these things are just really good. And I do want to say as well, just to sort of finalize, Bitcoin. We're not quite out of the woods yet. We've had a nice strong bounce, and I'm not going to steal any of Harry's thunder. He'll go through some of the technicals. But what I do want to say to you guys, we're going to have a lot of volatility. The market, from what I can gather, is still quite uncertain. They don't quite understand what happened. A lot of the FOMO is, mums and dads, and a lot of people that just wasn't expecting it, haven't been able to do their research to understand what's happened. So they're probably just going to sit on the fence for a little bit. But what this does mean for you, and hopefully, and I've been harping on about having some spare liquidity. It's just make sure you have. Yeah, these are opportunities right now. And I know it's been difficult the last few months. It's been it's the strategy was buy high, sell higher. Where it should be, buy oversold and then, sell when it, picks back up because it was oversold. So right now is one of those oversold moments on, I would have, not on every single cryptocurrencies, but there was I reckon a good 15% of the, significant cryptocurrencies within the space that were in oversold territory. A lot of them were cheap. Actually, Ethereum was actually oversold last night on the daily at one point there, going below the 1400. And yeah, if you're lucky enough on Kraken, you picked it up at 700. But yeah, those are the opportunities where you double your money in literally less than 5 minutes because the market, the exchange had low liquidity, for instance. So be ready for those opportunities because that's you can make a lot of money in them. People literally only trade those opportunities, and I don't blame them. They're really good. That's all I have, guys. Thoughts? What do you got? Mm. Yeah, I'm excited to see some alts to slingshot upwards to the moon. That's for sure.
For sure. Guys, if you like that quick breakdown on the market conditions, please make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever else. Really helps the channel grow. We are trying to get more exposure so more people can get in on this great alpha information. And as far as things go, I did want to actually bring up something here real quick. So Gooding was pulling up he was sharing the, what calls it, the 360, just the general market overview earlier. And there are a couple, I mean, it was mostly red. It wasn't as red as yesterday when everything was, down in the dumps, but there are a few of these. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Thank you.
there it is.
Perfect. So we have mostly, it's actually looking fairly green. So that's good. That is great to see. We have started to bounce. So people should start to feel a little bit more secure in their holdings. Bitcoin, hovering around the same price, everything. It's kind of going back and forth. We got those kangaroo markets going up and down. But if you take a look at the highest gainers for the day, we were talking a couple days ago about different opportunities that you can start to look into within different blockchains. And if we look at today's highest gainers, the ones that you see in the darkest shades of green, we have Solana, we have, what else is there? FTM, Phantom. Looks like Comp is doing well. Wow, okay. And one of the ones that caught my eye earlier today was actually, I'm going to go and grab the screen grab real quick.
It's all yours.
There we go. Okay, cool. So we have Rune. So Rune was one of the highest gainers for today. And I think that is, Rune has always been, Thorchain, Rune has always been a very strong fundamental project. But it did get a good amount of exposure, especially in the American markets, because it was featured by Multicoin Capital, and that is a Texas-based crypto investment firm. So they put out their full report. We can link it in the chat for you later. It's 12 pages. But if you guys aren't familiar with Thorchain, it's a chain for native staking of layer 1 assets, and it has a lot of things coming up, just getting ready to release. Everything's running down the pipeline, and you've seen maybe some mentions of it here and there. It did very recently launch a native, not a native token, but a token on the Ethereum chain. So it's Rune.eth, which allows people on Ethereum to get exposure to Rune. But this report is actually some solid alpha. I mean, if you haven't looked into it on your own, I think the kicker here, or the most, how would you say it? The best way to sum up the value proposition of Rune is in this last summary paragraph before you would go into the full report. So I'm going to read it out for you guys. Most investors have exposure to the blockchains they think will win. However, few actually have exposure to the growing heterogeneity of the overall ecosystem. This is a major opportunity, and we believe Thorchain's Rune token is the best way to invest in this thesis. Scroll up a little bit, and you'll see that, maybe too far. There we go. So you will have exposure to Solana, Polkadot. I mean, we have all these other blockchains that offer, some interoperability and, competitive advantages over Ethereum. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, like Cardano, all these leading name blockchains, they all have their own inherent advantages. They'll have their own, particular niches. And Thorchain will help you gain exposure to every single one of them with one of their upcoming products. You should check out their website to get a little bit more alpha on that. But keep your eyes out for the launch of their Asgard decks. I'm not going to tell you what it is on stream, but that is something that I strongly recommend that you do your own due diligence on. Full disclosure, I have been invested in the Ethereum token for a good bit of time now, and it is only going up. And that's all I got to say on that one. Just a tiny little thing to keep in mind.
Well,
You
there
guys
you
have
heard it.
anything else or comments?
Not specifically, but you heard it here first, guys. On with the alpha with our crypto bender alpha giant.
That does sound good, mate. I'm bullish on anything that only goes up. So how can you go wrong, right? That does sound pretty good. But we might throw it over to, just so you guys are aware, in the chat here. So we have some pretty big launches coming up on projects that I haven't been able to cover as gems, but are gems in my opinion, from a fundamental perspective. Unfortunately, I haven't quite done the tokenomics breakdown, all that sort of things. But once to watch a public mint, which Dee talked about in a weekly, we have poker markets. That one I'm expecting to possibly be the next 100x from the IDO price, that is. That launches tonight, my tonight, your tomorrow if you're American. We also have Bitcoin Vend. It's one of the next trust swap launches. Unfortunately, you have to have $12,000 worth of trust swap these days to be guaranteed a swap, and it has to be staked, or you ever have to have a swap score of 2,500. So I'm going to look into the swap score a little bit. But so overvalued. I want to hear from Daniel. Why Super Farm is so overvalued? Is that
Can you clarify also which Daniel are you referring to?
We have a couple of Daniels here, mate. Did one of you guys say a comment saying it was overvalued?
Well, look, I don't know about Bender, but we're trying to keep as separate as we can from the super farm thing on this channel, because as everyone knows, we're both admins and big supporters of Elliot. But at the end of the day, overvalued. Well, it is what the market says it is, right? There's obviously a lot of hype in influencers. Elio has a very, very strong following, and is known for being quite an honest guy, and knows how to help people learn to get those gains themselves. So, I guess that the question is whether the hype is warranted or not, and that's just personal opinion for each one of you, really. See where it goes. Where I haven't looked at the chart today. I actually haven't looked at the chart much at all. I've been too busy moderating the groups and going through DMs and all of that. But yeah, I'm guessing it'll just keep going sideways for a while. Yeah, Bender?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, so I just want to go on record here of saying that, let me just say, there's no way I can give you an unbiased opinion on this particular topic. If you want a real evaluation, like an unbiased third-party evaluation of the fair price of super farm tokens, you're not going to get it from me. I'm sorry, it's just not possible. I will say I'm personally extremely bullish on the project. How do I put this? There are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that the public is not privy to. And the token itself, you may not be able to see the future value or what it could become, because a lot of things are still in development, and a lot of things are just not been announced yet. So, I mean, if you're willing to invest at this stage, I would say that you are still early into what the project could grow into. I mean, I'm on the CoinGecko Super Farm tab right now. The market cap is 128 million, and as far as a bull run's concerned, that's average. That's fairly low even comparatively to a lot of the more mainstream projects. This thing could go to $20, it could go to 20 cents. We just don't know at this point. And it's probably the biggest name highest hype project in the NFT space right now. So if you believe, or if you even slightly suspect that NFTs are going to have real value anytime in the life cycle of cryptocurrency at all, then it couldn't hurt you to invest a little bit into Superfarm. And that's all I'm going to say. I really hope that, you share in, our vision here, but it is what it is.
Yep, and
Very good point.
there's always reasons why things get announced when they get announced. So, sometimes you might feel like you're uh, not getting all the information you want right up front, but there's reasons for it all. And yeah, as things roll out and as the platform rolls out, it'll start to grow, and you'll get a better view of the bigger picture and where it's really going.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm bullish on Superfarm as well. You've got Elliot Trades is a good leader, and he's doing quite well with his project thus far. And my only concern would be, there's a lot of hype for it. The only thing you've got to ask yourself is, is that hype the true value of what's the potential of the product is itself? I'm not saying it's overpriced right now, but because of that lot of hype is there, it could potentially take that price higher than the actual value. But in this space, who's to call a value on anything? The silliest of dumbest of tokens will moon. We saw Doge up at 12 billion. Was it 10 billion or something, or 12 billion? Anyway, crazy amount at one stage. But you look at its product, and it's not a product that has huge utility or value. Only what the people say what the value is on it. So, just something food for thought. Anyway, we love Superfarm, mate, and we continue. We will remain bullish on it. Costs $150 of gas. Mate. Gas is just destroying the DeFi space on Ethereum. 100%. I think I paid $150 of gas as well for Superfarm. So I'm in the same boat. It's ridiculous, and July, I think, is when they're calling for the EIP 1559 for last time I read.
Yeah.
It's too long. There's a reason why BNB is going nuts. There's a reason why people are buying all these smaller blockchains while they're really cheap, mind you, as well. And that's because ETH is starting to lose a little bit of that confidence, and people are sick and tired of the fees. I've pulled up my gas fees last year, and they're ridiculous. So
mine too. It's rough looking at that fee calculator.
I'm scared. I haven't done
it. Will, yeah, mate. I think Sand's a really good project. I had a good look into it. I'm a bit iffy about its tokenomics. However, boy, does it know how to boom. I held it for so long. It's something you can laugh at me for. I held it for so long, and eventually I watched it sort of peak, and I was like, yes, I've made a bit of profit. I've held that through September, October, since September last year. And then 2 days after I sold it, like literally done, I think it was like a 4x or something, if you remember that giant candle. And let's just say I was disowned from the family. My dog wouldn't, come up to me. I was definitely shunned. But these things seem to happen a lot in this space. Things that you just don't know what's gonna happen next. You can't predict these sort of things. But I think we might wrap it up there, unless you guys have anything more to say.
No, I think
I got two things to say.
Sorry, I think
go ahead. First.
Yeah, I think Cardano was actually might have read something today that Ada's going to be adding a lot of smart contracty things in there. So BNB will have BSC will have a bit of competition there if they manage to get that out nice and quick. But see what happens. I don't know that Smart Chain is gonna be a long term thing. Just kind of see where it goes. It's very degen right now, so unless some real solid projects actually start looking into being on there, which they probably won't because they look at Binance instead, I, I think it's just going to stay pretty degen, don't you think?
At this
Yeah,
stage.
so like unless Dojira gets onto BSC, it's not going to go anywhere.
I love my Dojira.
Indeed.
I've
Bender, you
still
had
got
something?
it.
Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to do two things. Sand, I hate it. It's rough and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. Dropping the memes on you guys. So that's one. And two, community wants what community wants. Hype is there. Super farm to $20. Drop mic. Crypto Bender out.
There you have it, team. We'll catch you later. See you.